Hey people, what's going on out there? Doc Severson with you here from live from Greenville, South Carolina, and we have Mav out there from the left coast. How you doing today, Mav? What's going on in your world?
Hey, not too much. Just kind of watching a little bit of a market move here. Not too much, really, but yeah, we got some selective breakouts.
So the Federal Reserve came out. So the U.S. Federal Reserve had one of their big quarterly meetings. They actually meet every 6 weeks, and today was interesting because there was this huge expectation that they were going to cut rates. And Jerome Powell, who is the Fed chair, hates to be told what to do. So I really thought that he was going to back off and be very intransigent about the whole thing and just say, no, forget it. You guys can't tell me what to do. But he did. In the end, he backed off. He went down a quarter point. And I think it's less about the U.S. economy than it is the world economy. So stuff's happening out there. And also, he made mention that they may start to increase the balance sheet. So what does this all mean? I mean, that goes right along with the ECB, last week saying that they were going to print, right? Didn't they say something to that effect that they were going to print more money?
Yeah, there's the news that they're going to panic print like 53 billion. It's crazy.
So there we go. We're right back into it again. So we have a destabilized world economy. I mean, it reminds me of a line from, what was it, Apocalypse Now? It's like a snail crawling along the edge of a razor right now. Like one false move and it's just going to cut itself in two. So, I think we're in the right place right now as a global hedge for things. So before we go any further, hello everybody. How are we doing out there? Want to make sure everything's working for you guys. Love to see where you guys are calling in from today. Middle of September. So we got a couple of things we want to share with you today. And while we're doing that, I'm going to flip over to this other screen here. Let's see if I can get this to work. Okay, there we go. So we're going to be at Coinvention in Philadelphia this weekend. So Friday, Saturday. And I have the honor and the privilege of giving they've given me 3 hours. I don't know how the hell I'm going to talk for 3 straight hours, but I'll give it a shot. And so they're calling it Alex is calling this a crypto mastermind trading class. Now, I'm like, okay, so I'm going to try to fill that bill. And what I want to do is I want to just see where everybody is during the presentation and kind of walk people through the madness that occurs between my ears in terms of how to trade this market and how you should be trading this market and the lessons that we can apply from long time ago towards this market, which in my mind really doesn't make any difference, right? So I don't think it makes any difference as to whether you're trading crypto or whether you're trading any other financial asset. There's certain principles that go in line with that. So those are some of the things I'm going to be sharing this Friday. And Mav, you're going to be sticking, well, no, that's right. You're not sticking around until Saturday. So both of us will be out there on Friday at Coinvention in Philly. Looking forward to seeing anybody that shows up.
Yeah.
And we got some people calling in from Steelton, Pennsylvania, East Tennessee. Damien, I have not read Jerome Powell's comments yet. I haven't got to that point, but I will do so pretty soon. Every Fed chairman is slightly different in terms of how they play this thing. And Powell seems to be one of these real stick in the mud type dudes, man. He just hates to be told what to do, cannot stand the political pressure, goes back to the playbook. Like, no, that's not according to how we do it in Hoyle. So,
Yeah.
it should be interesting to see it. The Fed is always too late to prevent a catastrophe, and they think otherwise. But I've seen this too many times.
Yeah, Trump is already blasting him for sort of taking this, oh, we'll see approach and calling him no guts, no vision, no sense. Yeah, terrible communicator. It's probably
Well,
true.
what's really interesting, the bond market is probably the smartest market that's out there on the planet. The bond market always knows what the hell's going on. And so if the Fed were to just simply say, we're going to use the bond market as sort of the price discovery vehicle for what's going on, but instead they don't. They go back to their old formulas, they go back to their textbooks, because most of these guys were academics, they were researchers, they study things from the past, right? So unfortunately the world changes a little bit too much for that. I mean, Bernanke of all people, the academic, was the guy like 2 months before the actual recession came along in 2008, said, no, everything looks is fine. Everything looks just fine. There's no chance of recession for the housing market. And, look, those people are in an impossible situation. I can't predict the future. They can't. But that's my problem with this body, is that we're going to set interest rate policy based on our textbooks and formulas, instead of using the bond market, which is 10 times smarter than they are and much more pervasive. It's the biggest market in the world, actually. So if they can't figure it out, nobody can. Hello from London, UK. Boy, that is just my favorite big city in the world. Favorite big city in the world. So Mav, what happened? Was there any closing comments that you want to have for Asia Invest? We caught you out in the middle of some capsule hotel last week at this point, and they somehow squished your frame into a little tiny hotel room. And I don't think you were done yet with the trip. Anything else come from that?
Well, I think it kind of highlights a little bit of why we're seeing some selective breakout rallies today too. The coins that are sort of breaking out, what is it, like Stellar, Ripple, BNB, BAT. A lot of these have working products or some sort of infrastructure play that is being utilized in some way right now. So they're projects with products, I guess. And I saw that same thing at Asia. Asia Invest is what's driving the market right now. Who's attracting investor capital? It's the projects that are doing things, that have infrastructure plays, that are setting the stage for what comes next. So those working in Web 3.0, those looking to do some sort of cross discipline product or play, those are the ones that are attracting a lot of attention right now. So yeah, I think it's cool to see that the industry is maturing and going towards these less speculative, more utility plays. That to me is where the money is right now.
Well, that's cool. So let me do this, because I'm sure people are. I can probably shortcut some of the questions here. Let's move over to the magic charts, if we will, for a second. Okay, so Mav, I've shut you off, so you can grimace all that you want to at this point, and we won't be able to see it. Okay. All right. So here's let's start from the top down in the marketplace. Bitcoin's currently 69% of the market, and has been just coiling sideways for quite some time. And what's going to happen here pretty soon is that people are going to get sick and tired of it and forget about it. And range contraction like this usually leads to very violent range expansion. I've talked to you guys the last couple of weeks thinking that, look, everybody's assuming that, although you guys have corrected me, you guys are saying not everybody is thinking this way. A lot of people are thinking this way. I look at the way, like, what would do the most damage to the greatest number of people, and it would be a downside move first, followed by an upside move. That would be the piece de resistance to me for a wild move that would really separate a lot of capital from the weak hands into the strong ones. So Ethereum has been doing very nicely for the past week. So we've been waiting for this thing to break above 200. Before I get too wildly excited about this, and I know this is going to come across as being a little conservative, and this applies towards the altcoins as well too, because these things have been in just a dead solid funk since the middle of June. And this is a nasty correction. So here's what I'm looking at, guys. If you just go over to a weekly chart, all you're going to see from this pop here is that this is nothing more than another lower high so far. This is nothing more than another lower high so far on the weekly chart. Okay, so to me, I want to say, prove it to me. Prove it to me by putting in on the weekly chart. I want to see this. I want to see this thing zoom up. I want to see it pop down for a higher low. And then if that holds, then I want to be able to sell puts against that so I don't have to be right. But this could be the beginning of a good reversal here. This could cause the trap. And that comment I'm going to have on just about everything. So even Ripple, if we look at Ripple on a weekly basis, that's still like, I'm sorry, but I'm just not impressed yet. I know that there's a lot of people that their religion states that they got to push Ripple. But to me, the price chart means everything, and 1 week does not a rally make. So what I want to see with Ripple is Ripple on a weekly basis has got to get above 50 cents before it's going to get any respect. The other way that this can happen is going to be something like this. So if Ripple bounces up, maybe gets above, say like 35 cents, puts in a higher low, just like Ethereum, then it's got some potential. Guys, you don't have to get the very bottom of the move. Wait till something starts to trend higher on the weekly chart. If you want to be a bit more conservative, if you want to be a hero, you can try to pick the bottom, but we all know how that ends, right? So a lot of these assets are going through the same kind of thing. Let's see. So even Binance Coin has been having its troubles lately. Stellar was, let's see, where's Stellar? Here we are. Stellar just, I mean, total ramp job today. This is on a weekly chart. So this is a whole daily candle here. That's pretty impressive, but it's being sold into. So again, that's the problem here with these, is that you have to wait until the polarity flips. One candle does not a trend make. You got to wait for the higher low to set up, because what you want to do is you want to get too many people on the wrong side of the price. There we go, we're back again. You want to get too many people on the wrong side of the boat, and then boom. That's how you get the big moves. You want to set that higher low as kind of like a hook, because the bears have got to overcommit for you to help them drive that thing higher. All right, let's see. Brace for impact. Arthur's saying violent range expansion ahead. Brace for impact. I do believe so. Could be a September to remember. Yep. Hello, Jack. Hello from Australia, Aussie girl. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Let's see. So Adam, that's my 2 cents on the Stellar chart. If anybody has anything else that they want, because that's it for today, right? There's nothing much else from the news perspective. Crypto's gotten to be a very compressed market lately, very compressed market. And my God, this is exactly what happened. I hate to say it, but like 2002, 2004, 2006, like the NASDAQ market got absolutely crushed and took years to recover. That's not going to happen with crypto. It operates 10 times faster. So what else you guys got? We'll let you fire up the questions. Okay. Hello, Jack from Brisbane. Oh, yep. Did I break Coinbase? Did I do it? Yes.
Oh man. Every time we go live, this happens.
It's me. So when the recession, that's a great question. If you are to believe all the talking heads and all the smart people that are out there, see, what I've always found is like when all the data points line up just perfectly, the absolute opposite happens. And I can't explain it. It's because markets are irrational, because the people that use markets are irrational. People are irrational. For all of those that say that you're logical, You're only logical maybe 10% of the time. 90% of the time, we are irrational. We make silly decisions. We use our emotions, which is irrational. So that's what markets do. Markets have a way of taking the data points, taking the logical assumptions that we all want to make about markets, and then doing the exact opposite thing. And this is why people, lose their mind and start, going off about whales and market manipulation and market makers and all these other evil creatures that are out there. But it's not that. It's the irrationality of human behavior that does it.
Yeah.
We didn't do much with Cardano because all the charts are pretty much the same. They're coming off the bottom, good, but we're waiting for a weekly uptrend first. It's going to take a while. So don't get too excited about the bounce, because the bounce so far is just another higher or a lower high until proven otherwise.
Yeah, and Cardano is still very speculative until we see more from them from a product perspective.
So cognitive dissonance,
Dissonance.
cognitive difference. Yeah.
Dissonance.
Dissonance. I can't speak this time of day. My God. J.P. Morgan. Yeah. I love how Jamie Dimon is like, oh, we're pure and holy and we're not going to get into Bitcoin, and then they get busted for that stuff. That's amazing. Yeah. Well, actually, the evil empire is actually Goldman Sachs. Those people are. Whoa. I actually had a meeting with Goldman Sachs once. This is probably, oh my God, 20 years ago. And I just got roasted in a meeting. You can't just throw out a simple answer like, oh, we'll get back to you on that. You will. Who are you going to talk to? What's the name of the person you're going to talk to? When are you going to talk to them? What's their name? When are you going to get back to me? What exact number you got? Like, okay. So yeah, working in New York was a real experience, especially at Goldman Sachs. Okay, so let's see. Here's another request for EOS. So let's flip over to the magic chart, shall we? And see what we got to work with here. So let's see. EOS. Now EOS, what I like about this one, again, this is on a daily uptrend. Sorry, Mav, we've cut you off again, man. So this is worked into a daily uptrend with a higher low, higher high. That's good, but if we go to the weekly chart, what is it showing? About the same as everything else. It's just a weekly swing right now. So could that be the beginning of something? Yes, maybe. It depends on how much you want to risk on something like that, right? My preference is I like trading stuff that's trending higher. All right, we're back. So to me, just a weekly swing is not necessarily trending higher. I want to see something put in a higher high, higher low, establish that support, drive out the bears, and then get going. I'm willing to miss the bottom 5% of the move. I don't care about the noise down at the bottom. That's where everybody gets destroyed, is trying to pick the turns. I'd rather jump onto a trend that's established, get the meat of the move, get the hell out at the right time, go back to cash. You never get the very bottom of a move, you never get the very top. All your job is try to get the meat in the middle.
Got a couple requests for charting Dogecoin. That's
Dogecoin.
Oh boy.
Hey, we got people checking in from Atlanta Hartsfield. How cool is that?
Oh, it's not too far from you.
No, a certain person just checked in from Atlanta Hartsfield. Okay, Doge. I gotta look up the ticker for this one. All right, it's just Doge, right? DOGE. Is there a Tether version of this? Let's use a Tether version of this. My God, look at it go. Okay, so again, same thing. We've had a couple of good days on Doge. And does that make it into a weekly uptrend? No, it does not. That is just another lower high so far. It's got to get above 3.2 cents to form a higher high. Do I care if I miss out between zero point 0.2 cents and 0.32 cents? I'm sorry, it wasn't 0.2 cents, it was 0.32 cents. I don't care. I don't care if I miss out on this whole chunk up here. I want to wait for an established uptrend before I get involved with these things. It said no one ever. I love that. That's great. Okay, back to the camera. So Crypto Hunter, do you guys think that right now is the best time to swing from an alt to BTC? I think we stick with BTC, we stick with the dominance until proven otherwise, until some of these alts start to get some traction and start to flip polarity. I mean, seriously, guys, if you look at, here we go, let's go back to the magic chart again. Sorry about this. But if we go to Bitcoin and go to the weekly chart, look at this. There's a significant difference between what I've showed on every other alt or even some of the other top 10s that are just getting going. This thing has been an established weekly uptrend since April. Those don't go away, those don't die. So my preference is to keep riding these horses for as long as we can until such time as it says that it's done. Yeah, so Arthur, right, a higher low and we're ready to go. We're ready to go. All right, so
That's good. You have to seal that.
Crypto Don Juan, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, it's a party now.
Yeah, the party is on. Okay, so let's take one more question and we'll get out of your hair. Don't forget, guys, we're going to be at Coinvention. If you joined us late, I'm going to be giving a 3-hour presentation at Coinvention. I don't know how I'm going to talk for 3 straight hours, but a couple of questions, and you can get me on my soapbox and get me ranting. It won't take much, and that's an evil thing, right? So yeah, 2 to 5 Friday in Philadelphia. So look for the coinvention.io website, and you can find it. Let's see. We got all right. A couple of other ones here. Sorry, Mav, I'm going to cut you off again. Okay, so we want to look for, let's see, what are we looking for? Bitcoin Cash. Let's see. I don't generally chart BCH versus BTC, and I can't even, where is it? Let's just look at the dollar version of it. Whenever we can, we should look at the dollar version of it, or at least the tether version of it here. Okay, so we have a daily uptrend. However, when we go out to the weekly chart, what do we have? We have the same thing as literally every other crypto. Is we have just the beginning germination of a weekly trend. We don't have a weekly trend. We just have a weekly swing in place right now. So it's just the very, very, very beginning, and it's going to have to prove it. It's going to have to prove it. So do I miss Ohio? I've only been here for 3 weeks, man. Let's see, Theta token. Let's go versus the Tether. Theta token has got no trend at all, really. No trend at all. Ask me that question in the middle of the winter, and I'll be able to give you a more accurate. Little things are different. Like we found that the shopping is different. The things that you're used to getting at different stores are just, it's either not there, but man, I was up in the mountains the other day and that is cool. Can't do that in Ohio. Okay, let's see, did I clear everything else? Northern Georgia, all right. Okay, guys, I think we're going to wrap things up for today. So thanks for hanging out with us here at Ready Set Crypto doing Ready Set Live. We will be live again on Friday at Coinvention, 2 to 5. Come see us.
You should be there. Should be fun.
Don't bring any produce. Behave yourselves. All right, everybody. Thanks for checking in. We'll see you guys soon.
See you guys.